Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, June 1st, 2020, and we happen to be talking about fear here in Nowhere Village. And as often is the case when we're working with a subject, we get some real opportunities from the universe to practice very deeply. I have not been in a good place this weekend, or I think I've been in an appropriate place. This thing happens to my tops of my eyelids when I cry a lot. It's happening. It's still here. It's very puffy. So this is me still in really a very emotionally challenged state. I went to a serious trauma response over the weekend, and as I think so many of us in this world are right now. I didn't spend a lot of time writing some big talk. I'm not going to talk very long today. This is just the beginning of something that I want us to work on together. But I couldn't. This is the thing when we're in a trauma state, when we're in a deep amount of fear, when our bodies basically are in that protective state. This is not the time for writing some great response, some great talk. I honestly couldn't even really meditate very much over the weekend. I worked on a jigsaw puzzle, and I called friends, and at the beginning of the weekend, I was very, very, very much on social media, just trying to post and share about movements happening in the Black Lives Matter movement, and just trying to keep awareness about what was going on as the protests were happening. And I felt very much on fire, and I felt very strong in my intuitive gut felt response to the situation. And what I wasn't being aware of is, as this was happening, as I was sharing images, as I was reading these things and letting myself feel them, I was also actually starting to trigger trauma from my own history. And once I kind of let that out of the bag, it was sort of a force that couldn't be stopped, and I had to deal with that. I couldn't go to our local protest on Saturday, even though that was my plan, because I was alternating between panic attacks and sob fests. And, you know, all of these great practices that I have even now, often they fall away, right? And I'm back to like being like a child. And I share all of this with you. This isn't a cry for help. I have support. I knew where to go and what to do, but I'm just saying that I'm sharing this because it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to really deeply feel how fucked up things are and have been for a really, really long time. The reason why I, instead of protesting, had to be at home, just like getting in basically emotional triage, is because I grew up in this world where I watched terrible things happen to innocent bodies with no repercussions. My whole life. I watched my mom suffer at the other end of sexism in really horrible ways and be abused and gaslit. And so, and I've had some other trauma happen to my own little innocent body. And in all of these cases, I never saw anybody. I saw these people hurt innocent people and then just walk away. And everybody else thought this is normal. So we live in this world, and what's coming up right now is not new. But in some ways, but every time that we really let ourselves be raw and inside of something like this, it feels new again. it triggers in us all of the injustices that we've ever seen or felt or been bystanders to every single time that something in our heart says, no, that's not okay. And yet somehow we look around and others think it is. Okay, so we're working with fear. We're about to do a little journaling practice. We're going to keep doing what we're doing in Know Our Village because I think that it's really, really, really important. But I also, over the weekend, it became really clear that even though I see the connection between what we do here and creating inner peace and like creating a world of peace outside, I want to personally become clearer about that connection in the way that I approach my work. I have this whole platform. I have a lot of skills and abilities, and I want to make this resource more clearly a resource for justice in the world, for racial justice, for gender justice, for economic justice, for environmental justice, for real equality, I want to live in a world where we actually respect each other's needs and boundaries and bodies and spirits. And I don't live in that world right now. It's really clear to me. Thank you, Kristen. That's the point. Yes, I want you to help me, Kristen, saying, please let us help you. That's what I want. I'm not making a lot of money on this thing right now as it is. I'm really grateful for what I'm providing, but I just feel like we're here and we're doing this. And so I'm inviting you to please let me know if you can think of things we can do as a community. You can think of things that I can do as a teacher. I'm just here. Like, I'm at the service of this. How many more weekends am I going to lose living in a world like I need to actually, I want us to do something. And I want it to come from meditation and our practices and our inner power. And so we're going to keep doing all of this, but yeah, again, maybe there's more. And I'm thinking on it on my end, but I'm very much open to suggestions. I've been thinking about, a lot of options, and I'm not going to even go into them now, but this is just the beginning of this conversation. And one huge lesson that I got this weekend was, okay, Erin, you're advising people, you're helping them, and you need to remember how, I want to remind you guys, because I was reminded of this weekend, how precious, like how valid your feelings are and how valid your trauma is, and how whatever is going on in the world, there are times when you just will need to take care of yourself and go to your supports. And then when we're strong and we're supported and we're bolstered, we have to stand up and we have to let those who are in power know that we're taking our power back from them. We're not investing it there anymore. In whatever ways that we can, we have to take it back and put the power back into the places that are going to heal. And so we have to be able to go back and forth between having a lot of compassion for ourselves and doing really good self-care and going out in the world and giving what we have to those who haven't built it yet. Okay, thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. And I'm looking forward to us turning these resources toward the spaces that need it. Because we can't sit here and just meditate and hang out together while our world is burning and while our neighbors and our friends and our brothers and sisters don't have basic rights. Okay. So there are the prompts if you want to follow the links. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and share on my screen right now the prompts for the week.